Yeah,
I've got a lot to tell you.
I know that Stephen's a man who's in touch with his emotions. On February 1st, 2010, when he went to see the National Theatre production of War Horse, he cried afterwards. I don't know if for you guys, whether there was an instant sort of recognition of how that would happen, how you'd be moved by, I don't know if you saw the stage play, if you read the book.
So stage play, and I read the book when I was about 8 or 9 by my family, and it had a huge impact on me then. I think there's something in the way that Michael Morpurgo writes that really touches, people of all ages, and especially children. I think, it's there's a lot to relate to in this movie. I think the bond between Albert, my character, and the horse. We've all had that special relationship when we were younger with brother or sister or whatever, and we can imagine what it's like to have that taken away from us.
I saw the stage play when I was 8 months pregnant and nearly had to leave after about 10 seconds because I couldn't handle the prospect of what was about to come as something so unbearably moving about a young man who loves his horse so much that he's prepared to follow it into the pit of hell that is the First World War. And telling that story from the horse's point of view of seeing what men do to each other is really profound.
What struck me when I was reading just research on this was, and I love the fact that one morning, young Stephen, he's kind of getting the hang of this filmmaking thing. I think he's getting quite good at it, and yet I know one morning when he spoke to you that he just said the night before he wasn't able to sleep because he was worried about the shot that was going to be happening that day.
He came in, he said, I hadn't slept all night because of this worrying about the shot. I was like, okay, I like that. I like it.
Which is surprising, but then I guess somebody who really loves films and really cares about film and is part of that world has got to always feel emotionally attached and feel, a worry and anxiety that this is going to be good enough, that I'm going to make something I'm really proud of.
Well, and I think one of the first things that strikes you when you get on set with Stephen is his passion, and how excited he gets when he sees like a shot that he likes, and him and his director of photography, Janusz, they both like kids in a candy shop, and it's infectious, and it spreads among the whole crew, and and everyone starts feeding off that passion, and only Stephen could have made something this ambitious. Only him and his crew could have pulled off such a real classic Hollywood sort of piece of cinema, hopefully.
And he's also got his little fart game to break the tension as well. He had
Did you? Yeah, I just remembered that. Yeah, no, he does. Yeah, it was like Atomic Father. Brilliant. Yeah, but he's.
I think he's going to adapt that to a movie soon enough.
He's just
Russell Crowe, I think, would be good for that.
But that's the thing. Yeah, but things like that. I remember being on one of the night shoots when, it's 4 a.m. It's been raining for 3 months, and we're all shattered and up to our waists in mud in the trenches, and everyone's heads are beginning to drop, and Stephen starts telling these stories about E.T. and Jurassic Park, and everyone's kind of listening in, and everyone's just he just keeps everyone going, and that's what a skill, And
one thing I really loved was the fact that when you got on set, there was all this incredible equipment. It was like an on-set editing suite and all these previews on on these incredible iPad, whatever, so much absolutely up-to-the-minute stuff that he had all around him, and he was like a kid, And then he got this little piece of paper out of his back pocket, and he went, Emily, this is today. And it was literally back of an envelope with a little scribbly list.
I mean,
because he started making movies before any of this stuff existed, and that's his. I would call him a compelled storyteller.
I was going to say, for you, Jeremy, you had 2 years of struggle before this happened, so relatively kind of short period of those.
Most actors go a lot longer without work. Yeah.
For you, Emily, like your film debut was Breaking the Waves, and that was a wonderful kind of baptism of fire. And I don't know if you feel, looking back, there's a sort of a way to handle that sort of, your first film is a monster in a way. It sort of changes entirely, going from nobody to somebody.
I remember there was a moment at the Cannes Film Festival at the screening there, and as the lights went down, Jean-Marc Barr leant over and said, Emily, your life is about to change forever. And he was right. It was a huge deal, a huge experience, and it is, I mean, who knows, but I think Jeremy has very good instincts. I think he kind of has integrity without having to reach for it, which will go a long way.
Does it feel like a kind of, a moment that you really have to, all the decisions you make for the next year are going to be so kind of telling as to possibly what sort of career you might have in the future?
That's an interesting one. I mean, you know, it's difficult for me to kind of relate to all this sort of stuff at the moment. But you know, I have been very careful about what I've been choosing next. You know, I'm very aware that the spotlight is now on. Okay, where do you go from here, sort of thing, and you know, I've been incredibly lucky to have been allowed to do, you know, projects that I'm equally passionate about since. So yeah.
Given this tour might last a little bit longer, my very last question, your birthday's on January 14th. I just want Jeremy to know, I think you're 24, 25, I forget exactly what.
Yeah.
Any plans for your birthday? Would you be on tour with this, or would you hopefully be
I'm going to
with
be
your loved ones?
in Los Angeles for the Golden Globes.
Ah, that's a nice way to be for your birthday.
Party, party, party.
Well, I'll say happy birthday and thank you a lot. I think
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
We
no,
we can do it in our hands. We can do